Hey everybody, this is Emily Moyer. I am the host and producer at Off Planet Media, and I am also a nutrition consultant. And I wanted to make a video today about something that I've been sort of playing with and just kind of wanted to talk about. And that is the carnivore diet. This first kind of came into my awareness about 2 years ago when I saw a guy named Sean Baker on the Joe Rogan podcast. And while what he said was interesting to me, I kind of laughed it off as sort of ridiculous and, whatnot. And that was kind of it, right? So I obviously became more and more aware of it as people like Jordan Peterson started doing it. And we've been hearing more and more like celebrity, different types talk about this diet. But I really was resistant to it for a lot of reasons. And as with almost everything else that I look at, I'm usually looking for the mind control aspects of some kind of agenda that I see being pushed forward. And I'm not going to get deep into this today, but my feeling, having experimented with all different kinds of diets, is that the vegan agenda, not necessarily the vegan diet in its holistic sense, but the agenda that's being pushed with it is a mind control program. And so when I see a complete swing to the other side, the pendulum going all the way the other way, my first instinct, and probably my second, third, and fourth instincts as well, are to look for the mind control aspects of that possible agenda, not so much about the diet itself, right? So, but over time, like a couple of things started happening. I've been having some interesting things go on with my body that I haven't experienced before. And somewhere in my intuition, the idea kept popping in that maybe I was supposed to try the carnivore diet. I hushed it, I quieted it, I silenced it, I pushed it off to the side and laughed at it and said, that's ridiculous, I'm not doing that. It almost offended me. So I ignored the quiet voice. And I continued doubling down on the things that had worked for me in the past but weren't working for me before. But I started to look into some things, do a little research, listen to some videos, and I also started to receive a lot of emails from people telling me about their experiences. Some of them were quite wild. Some of them were just, hey, I like this. I started watching all different kinds of videos, really avoiding the videos that were done by people who are influential in like the alternative media or the health space, and just kind of listening to videos of normal people or people I'd never heard of before. And I just came to a place where I was like, you know what? I'm a nutrition consultant. I've done all the other kinds of diets. I was vegetarian for 15 years, vegan for a year. I've done the Candida diet, the paleo diet, ketogenic diet, and all sorts of crazy diets that were popular in the 80s and 90s that are completely useless. So I thought, you know what? I really need to be able to at least understand this and experiment with it a little bit, and then I can either write it off as insane or decide that it has some use or place or value. The longer I'm in this nutritional space, I realize that there is no one final solution to everything, that the best way to be healthy is to be flexible and constantly evolving what you're doing, because we don't live in the same world day to day. Our life is not the same. I mean, the world changes day to day, our life changes day to day, and certainly over the course of years, we're in very different places than we were back when some diet we were doing for a while worked for us. As well, I'm a person that enjoys food, and so I am not inclined to want to get into something that never allows me to have the social experience with food that I want. I like cocktails, I like eating in fancy restaurants and whatnot. So I'm never going to be the person who is like, I'm never eating that stuff again. Like, it just doesn't work for me. And I don't really think it's healthy unless you are a person who has recovered from a really serious autoimmune disease or some other health condition. I think that like forcing yourself to abstain from things on an ongoing basis that you really enjoy, can be not the best thing. I think sometimes it's great to take a break for a while and really work on cleaning our systems. I've done that numerous times over the years. But I also think it's good to relax and enjoy life. We're here on this very strange planet having these very strange experiences, and we need to enjoy being here as well. But we do, it's obviously easier to enjoy when we're healthy. So I decided that I was going to try the carnivore diet. I decided I would do it for a week. and as long as I was feeling okay, that I would continue to do it for a month. So today is Sunday, March 16th, and I started the diet on Monday. And when I first started, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. I was still researching, trying to decide if it's best if I go a whole month without any cheating or days. Like normally when I'm eating what I regularly is a diet, I try and have like one day a week where I eat what I want, whatever I want, and the rest of the time I'm pretty clean. So I wasn't sure if I was going to do that or if I was going to just go balls to the wall and no cheating for a month. Or I don't even like calling it cheating. I shouldn't call it that, but a more expansive day maybe. But after doing some research, I found a couple of people who talked about it in a way that I really appreciated. And one of the people brought up the thing that one of the dangers with the carnivore diet is that your body loses the ability to digest anything else. And since you won't necessarily always be in a perfect situation to control what you're eating, or you may want to eat other things at some times, you don't want to lose the ability to digest or have your body feel so strange when you eat something else that you just kind of fall apart. So by about midweek or late in the week, I decided I was going to kind of continue with my normal thing. So on Saturday, I had my fun meal out and whatever, but everything else that I ate from Monday until now has been only meat, eggs, or some heavy cream that I might have in coffee or in when I scramble eggs, and then butter. But I haven't had anything, no fruits, no vegetables, no carbs, no anything else. And it's been kind of interesting. I've been kind of surprised. I definitely feel okay, so I'm definitely going to continue for the month, and then we'll see after that. One of the things that has really been interesting to me is the cravings for other stuff are really gone. Like when I would do the ketogenic diet and like limit the kinds of carbs I had or whatnot, I would still be wanting other stuff. And I was always feeling like I can't have what I want. I'd be kind of upset about it or something. On the carnivore diet, I was like, okay, I ate meat, and now it's like I'm just not doing that. And there wasn't this like beast inside of me looking for something else. I must admit, sometimes it feels strange just to sit there and eat like a pound of ground beef at a time or something like that. But from the research I did, it seems like it's important just to eat till you're full so that your body can kind of adjust to the new thing that it's doing. So yeah, it's a little boring. Like, when I see somebody else eating something different, it's like, oh, that might be nice to have something else, but it isn't like I didn't feel compelled to do it. And by about the third day in, I noticed that a lot of the symptoms, and when I say symptoms, for me, I'm talking about things that are really minor. I am very healthy. I'm very fortunate. I'm able to do pretty much everything that I want to do, but I also am hyper vigilant about my body. And so when things don't feel or look or whatever just quite right, I notice it. And by about day 3, some of the things that had been going on for, say, the past 9 months or a year that weren't going on before, some of it started when I had an injury, they seemed to be reduced or stopped. And not only the symptom, but the feelings about it, right? Like, so sometimes when we get into a thing where we're feeling badly about ourselves, where we can't do what we want to do, or something doesn't feel good in our body, it also affects how we feel emotionally about ourselves. And both of those things were gone. And that was like really surprising. Some of like the sort of bloat feeling that I know a lot of people that I talk to have been feeling more of in the last years than they ever had before, even doing some of the same diet things they always had, that was gone. It's bizarre. I don't feel tired at the end of the day. Like I've been going to sleep probably an hour later than I normally did. And I'm not wired or anything like that. I'm just not quite tired yet. So I did notice that the exercising was a little bit more difficult. And from some of the research that I did, it doesn't sound like it's that uncommon. When I say a little more difficult, I mean a little. Like I was still able to do it, but it just felt like a little bit more taxing. But that would make sense because your body's getting used to using a different source of energy than it has before. There's no real glucose there for it to rely on. So that was kind of interesting. And sometimes after I would exercise, I'd be like sleepy for a little bit, but then it would kind of go away real fast, and then I'd be sort of sharp again. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, like it's been kind of, I don't know, like my brain feels really sharp. I feel pretty motivated, and it's actually like kind of exciting. I'm really being cautious. Like I hear a lot of people who are super pro this diet and like this is the best thing in the world and everyone should do that. And I'm hesitant to ever think about anything that way. And there's a lot of people who are, especially in like the conspiratorial side of things, who are really recognizing the vegan agenda and the mind control that's going on with that. And I just caution us to be careful that something could be happening on the swing the other way. I think that there's probably some really good, valid uses for this diet, and that's why I'm experimenting with this. But I think, like everything else, we should be cautious, and I'm being cautious and just kind of watching things. Oh, the other thing that I noticed is somebody asked me to check like my pH and see if it was overly acidic. And so I have been, and while it's on the more acidic side of the normal range, it's not going out of that. It's not overly acidic, and it hasn't increased since the beginning. It's just right there at the, this acidic side of normal, but it hasn't really changed. And I feel good. My back pain is less. I'm sleeping pretty well. I am going to the bathroom a little bit more, like, waking up a couple times during the night, which had stopped for me for a bit. But I may be drinking a little bit more. I've noticed my mouth sometimes a little dry, so I may be drinking a little bit more liquid than I normally do. But all in all, I'd say that like my experience so far is good. I'm not trying to encourage anybody to do or not do this. I have a lot of years of experience with nutrition and things that I know work with helping people to gain their health back. One of the things that I recognize is after someone has regained their health, then you start to move into the area of finding like the best way of eating for them for maintenance and learning how to evolve and be flexible as things in your life and your body change. And so I would only ever use this as a tool or part of that. Anyway, I'm going to be posting videos on this on an ongoing basis while I'm doing this, just to kind of let people know if you have questions. I'd love to hear, and comments and whatnot, as long as they're intellectual in nature and not just weird, not just unnecessary, unhelpful things. And yeah, I also just want to suggest to people that during this really unusual time that we're in with the coronavirus situation, that we not give in to fear and panic and all that kind of thing. I think most of my listeners don't do that anyway. But instead, look at this time where our lives, our normal way of living is being disrupted, as an opportunity to find a new level of health and happiness. Like get healthy, right? If like this is being, if the mind control program is saying everybody's going to be sick, flip that and decide, no, you know what? I'm going to use this time to get healthy. I'm going to use this time to reconnect with my family, or, start forming better connections, even with your people online. Start having chats and hangouts. I'm going to be doing some really interesting things right here. I'm going to start a wellness chat group. The information on that will be coming probably this week, but also a really interesting social concept that I would like to engage while we're in this period of time. So use this time to get happy, to get healthy. I'm available for nutritional consultations and for life coaching, and especially anybody out there who believes they've had a mind control experience and would like help making sense of that and navigating that. Getting your body healthy is a really good way to start that process. So reach out to me. You can leave a comment in the section here. You can find me on Facebook at Emily Moyer. Everything that I'll be doing shortly will be there. Or you can send me an email at technobrat21@gmail.com. All right, guys, have a good day. See you soon.